Hi there, my name's Dave Dubeau. Welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. So today we're going to cover two main things. First of all, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my top 20 life lessons that I've learned over the last 20 years that I've been self-employed. I just recently realized that 2013 is the 20th anniversary since I first started getting into business for myself way back in 1993 in San Jose, Costa Rica. So I've taken my licks, I've learned a lot of lessons. I'm going to share those with you over the next several episodes of Canadian Profits TV. And we also have a real estate tip from none other than Mr. Ted Thomas. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So Halloween just wrapped up. I don't know about you, it was kind of fun, but a little disappointing for me. I was hoping I was going to get one more year with my 12-year-old son, Andy, going out trick-or-treating with him. But he had 4 or 5 of his buddies come over. They all took off, did their trick-or-treat thing, didn't want Dad hanging out with them. So it seems like my trick-or-treat days are over until the grandkiddies come. So hopefully that'll be a hell of a long ways down the road. Okay, speaking of life lessons, which is appreciating what you've got when you've got it. One of the big lessons that I've learned over the years is that you really need to believe in yourself because chances are nobody else will. So where did I first get smacked in the face by this? Well, this was way back before I even got into business for myself back in 1993. I had the harebrained idea to go down to Costa Rica with a few $1,000s in my pocket with no contacts, no business experience, not even really a good business idea, and try something and go into business for myself. Well, my father, bless his soul, looked at that and he thought that there were a few flaws in my logic there. And I can't, looking back, I can't really blame him. So he did what he thought was best and he took me aside. He said, Dave, I appreciate you. You've been traveling around Mexico and Central America the last few years. You've had your fun. You've, been seeing a bit of the world. Now I think it's time for you to get serious and settle down and get a real job. I said, well, Dad, I'm planning on going down to Costa Rica and trying my hand at my own business. He said, Dave, I love you, but, I know you and I've got some friends who are business people and I just don't think you've got what it takes to be in business for yourself. I really think you should go back to school, get your teaching degree, become a teacher, and get a good, steady job with a good pension plan. And I tell you, that really steamed me up. And I used that as a major negative motivator for myself. So when I did go down to Costa Rica, ended up down there with like less than $1,000 in my pocket by the time I actually made it down there, started my own business. There were a lot of challenging times. However, I used that as a negative motivator whenever I was feeling down to keep going. And I eventually did create a very successful business down there in the language training field. Now, to give my dad credit, about 5 years later when I came back home and I was having a visit, he remembered that and he said, you know what, Dave, I remember that time that I took you aside and said I didn't think you had what it took. I take it back. I'm sorry. You proved me wrong and I'm very proud of you. So that was a vindication, but it really did go to show that, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not your own biggest fan, it's going to be really tough. So you have to get that self-confidence. You have to be your own cheerleading section, and no matter what happens, you have to go for it and chase your own dream. That is one of my big life lessons over the last 20 years. All right, let's take a quick look at a little video interview I did recently with Mr. Ted Thomas. Check it out. Hi there, everybody. This is Dave Dubeau with Canadian Profits, and I'm here with my good friend, Ted Thomas. And if you don't know about Ted, Ted is the world's leading expert on tax liens and tax deed certificates in the United States. How are you doing, Ted?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, Ted, so let's start with some basic questions here. What exactly is a tax lien, and what's the difference between that and a tax deed certificate?
Okay, well, to start with, a tax lien certificate is very simple. It's really a piece of paper like I'm holding in my hand. That's all it is. And every property in North America, it doesn't matter whether it's in Canada or the United States, if the property owner doesn't pay the tax, the local government will issue a certificate that says they did not pay the tax. So that certificate can be purchased by anybody that has the cash to pay for it. So you own the certificate now. Nice. So let's say you bought it for $50. Now you bought it. Now you actually have a lien on the property of that property owner.
Okay, and a tax deed, is there a difference between the lien and the deed?
There's a lot of difference because of that certificate, the homeowner could buy the certificate back from you. It could get the certificate back by just giving you your money back plus 16, 18, 24, or up to 36%. So you can earn 36% on that certificate.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Now, Ted, you said that these are also available in Canada.
Yes.
However, all of your training is focused on taking us Canadians south of the border to go buy your American tax liens and tax deeds. What's up with that? Why can't we stay home and do this?
Well, because people in Canada are so polite and so trustworthy. But the problem is, people in the States don't pay their tax, okay? So if they don't pay their tax.
Some Canadians don't pay their taxes either.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, you could do this in Canada, but in the Canadian provinces, it only pays 2 or 3%. So what I tell people, I said, you have a choice. I can teach you to do it in Canada, and you can make 2 or 3%, or would you like to come to the States, make 16, 18, 24, or 36%? The decision's really yours, so whichever one you want. So when I teach the class here, they all turn out to be ruthless and want the 18, 24, and 36%. So that's why I teach it in the States.
Makes sense.
So I come here to do it.
Perfect. All right, so if you'd like to find out more about how to invest in tax liens and tax deed certificates in the U.S. with Ted Thomas, we're actually doing a no-cost web class on this on Tuesday, November the 26th, starting at 6 p.m. What's the title of your talk, Ted?
Well, most people like to call it How to Make Money with Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deeds. So that's probably the simplest thing you could do.
That's a very good title for it. All right. Thanks a lot, Ted.
Sure. Glad to be here.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. What's going on? Well, if you're in southern Alberta, or anywhere, and you're really interested in rent-to-own real estate investing, we've got a brand new event happening November 16th and 17th in Calgary. It's called the R2O Profits Blueprint. And this is a 2-day workshop, live workshop with myself. We've got some special guests, including Dan Heon, who's a phenomenal finance person and a great person when it comes to showing us how to get our rent-to-own clients lined up for financing, as well as Hong Wang, who is a real estate agent who also understands rent-to-own and understands how to work with investors. Plus, we got some other great surprises for you there. Check that all out at r2oprofitsblueprint.com. Or you can probably click on a banner to the side there as well and check that out. It's a free 2-day event, so I'd love to see you there. You're going to learn everything that you need to know about rent-to-own real estate investing to get up and going quickly. What else we got going on? Speaking of Mr. Ted Thomas, November 26th, I believe it's a Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, we're having a no-cost web training event called How Canadians Are Cashing In on U.S. Real Estate for Just Pennies on the Dollar. You can register for that at CanadianProfitsWebinar.com. Now, this is a really interesting webinar because it was just over a year ago, Ted and I did a similar webinar, and what I'm thrilled to say is a lot of the people who were on that webinar are already making serious money doing what Ted teaches them how to do. So you can find out all about that at CanadianProfitsWebinar.com. Go ahead, sign up for the event. If you're not able to be on the live call, we'll probably have a replay, so we'll let you know about that. So go ahead and register. What else is going on? If you're interested in learning how to raise money, if you're a real estate investor and you want to raise capital, you want to find money partners or joint venture partners, we've got a new program out, and that's called Insider Secrets for Raising Millions. And what I've done is I've taken a compilation of the best of the training materials that I've created and that the interviews that I've done and the trading programs that I've done with different people on raising capital, put them all together into one program, and you can check that out at CreativeProfitsClub.com. Again, CreativeProfitsClub.com, and Wagner's probably put a banner for that up around here as well. So check it out. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next Monday on Remembrance Day. Take care. Bye-bye.